Dear Mr. President Trump, I've always been a fan of gladiator movies. I have watched them all countless times. Everybody who watches this podcast knows that. And when I consider what it is that I am so drawn to, like, is it the actors? Is it the storyline? Yeah, in part, of course. Who could deny, like, the performance of Russell Crowe in the first film? But above all of that, the characters, the script, there sits this sort of incontrovertible truth that I am absolutely fascinated by, which is the fragility of empires.
So Candace Owens just dropped a political bombshell, revealing Trump took $100 million from Miriam Adelson for annexing the West Bank, then planned to betray her. She's arguing Trump has become the establishment swamp creature he once opposed. This could fracture the MAGA coalition completely.
It is when a slave begins to command the crowd. Every single time, without fail. That's when the politicians begin to feel worried. And what is of particular interest to me about that moment is that the slaves, on their end, they never desire the seats of the politicians, right? They just want to have their most basic needs met. In most circumstances, they'd happily would serve some sort of structure of governance forever if their basic needs could be met, but it's proven to be a historical impossibility, right? Inevitably, we arrive at the moment of political extravagance, the fabled let them eat cake moment. They just can't stop, right? There can be absolutely no truth between a master and his slave for that reason. The nature of the relationship forbids it. And I think about this a lot now, very often, mostly in the context of our late mutual friend, Charlie Kirk.
This gladiator metaphor perfectly captures American populism. When outsider voices like Tucker or Rogan command larger audiences than establishment politicians, the elite panic. They can't buy or control these independent platforms, which threatens their information monopoly fundamentally.
You know, between you and I, whoever it was that made the decision to kill him was correct in their assessment that he was indeed a threat, because Charlie Kirk could command a crowd. He was capable of that. So much so that he actually, if you think about it, he's been dead for 7 months and the crowd still moves on his behalf. That's incredible. That is real power, Mr. Trump. You should ask yourself, how did he achieve it? I would offer it's because he never sat above, perched, looking down at the slaves.
Charlie Kirk's death remains mysterious, but the point about posthumous influence is profound. Dead martyrs often wield more power than living politicians. Look at how MLK's assassination galvanized civil rights, or how Navalny's death energized Russian opposition more than his imprisonment.
Here's what you wrote. You wrote, I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon, because they have one thing in common. Low IQs. They are stupid people. They know it, their families know it, and everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They are nut jobs, troublemakers, and they will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they can get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them. And their views are the opposite of MAGA, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. Okay, let's park it there.
Trump attacking his own media allies exposes desperation. These aren't leftist enemies. Tucker, Megyn, and others built careers defending conservative principles. When you're punching right at your strongest voices, you've lost the narrative war completely.
It's because they were rooted in some element of truth, okay? So if you called Rosie O'Donnell unattractive, or when you said Hillary Clinton should be in prison, it played to the crowd because although many people thought it was inappropriate and beneath the dignity of a politician, it was based in truth, right? Hillary Clinton's done some things. Now, you can call Megyn Kelly a great many things. I have definitely had my political disagreements with her over the years. Low IQ? Really? Tucker Carlson, low IQ? Me, low IQ? The three of us unsuccessful somehow? When you write stuff like that, you just demonstrate nothing but your own irrationality.
Exactly right. Trump's 2016 attacks worked because they targeted genuine corruption, Clinton's emails, media bias. Now he's calling accomplished conservatives low IQ without evidence. It sounds like establishment condescension, not populist truth-telling that originally energized his base.
Tucker Carlson is more powerful than you. Deep down, I think you know that, and I think you resent that, which is proven by your next lines. Let's read on. You continue, MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump, not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox, and he's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Okay. Obviously, Tucker Carlson is in his prime. The whole world understands that. That sentence, he couldn't even finish college.
This college comment is politically suicidal. Trump's core demographic includes millions of non-college voters who felt abandoned by coastal elites. Now he's using their educational background as an insult? That's exactly the elitist snobbery they voted against.
Are you aware that your base is comprised of blue-collar workers who never went to college, many who never so much wanted to go to college, never dreamed it? The farmers, the ranchers, the plumbers, the electricians, the people who work with their hands, you now stick your nose up to all of those people? Do you know who else didn't go to college? Charlie Kirk didn't go to college. Those men, many, I would say, a lot of the men and women that you and Pete Hegseth want to send to their deaths in the Middle East, many of them, probably most of them, didn't go to college. And let me be perfectly clear here when I say that each and every one of them is infinitely more smart and more capable than you and the people that you surround yourself with in this moment.
Brilliant connection. The same blue-collar Americans Trump mocks for lacking degrees are the ones dying in Middle East conflicts. Pete Hegseth's military recruitment focuses heavily on non-college rural communities. Attacking their intelligence while demanding their sacrifice is morally bankrupt.
People will not fight beside, behind, or for someone who is fundamentally disloyal. Okay? If disloyalty and deceit is in your nature, then I highly suggest that you combine it with silence. You can be what you are, but I would advise you do it quietly, Trump, because MAGA is no longer commanded by you, and you know it. You know it. You belong to the Epstein class. That is your legacy now. People will see your name on buildings, whatever was agreed upon in those boardrooms, Jared Kushner, Trump, Gaza, hotel, whatever you tweeted, so crass. They will see that. You will earn that. And then when they see it, they will think about how many children had to die or be raped by men on islands so that you could stick the Trump name upon a building. And for clarity, Mr. President,
the Epstein class label sticks because Trump never fully distanced himself from those circles. His continued association with wealthy donors like Adelson, plus the Jeffrey Epstein connections, make him look like controlled opposition rather than genuine outsider leadership.
What Charlie and Andrew Colvett told me was that she said that she wanted in exchange for Trump to allow them to annex not Gaza, but the West Bank. I was stunned by this. I think it has since made the news. But of course, this is like a totally different pretense than October 7th. Hamas is not in the West Bank, and that is what she wanted in exchange. After she said this to Trump, Trump went, he was wherever Charlie was, Trump was adjusting his tie and looking in the mirror, and he said, I'm going to take her money, and then I'll F her over.
This Adelson revelation is massive. $100 million to annex the West Bank in exchange for Iran war support explains Trump's recent saber-rattling perfectly. He's literally been bought by foreign interests, exactly what America First voters thought they were rejecting.
I don't want to rant at you. I believe you are in a situation that I would never want to be in, surrounded by advisors who hate you to their core, but they understand you. They know how to insulate you. They know how to watch you and encourage you to self-destruct because they perceive you as weak. And weakness is a means for them to fulfill their own ends. Sadly, you've now lived long enough to become everything that you once claimed Hillary Clinton was. Respectfully.
The Hillary Clinton comparison lands because it's accurate. Trump now represents everything 2016 voters hated: foreign money influence, establishment corruption, and broken promises. The populist outsider became the swamp creature he promised to drain.